Welcome back to Pipes Etc., episode number 22, my impression and the challenge results. Glad you could stop by. Today I am concluding challenge number 8. And to recap, it is between two cigar leaf-based blends, GLP's Key Largo and Robert Lewis's 1-2-3 mixture. Over the last few days, I have completed the tasting and will now give you my opinion and the ratings. But first, I would like to take this opportunity to offer you my suggestion in a beverage pairing. For these blends, I was looking for something that has a complementing quality, of course, but not match it exactly. And what I chose was Ommegang Brewing Company's Three Philosophers. It's a quadruple ale brewed with Lindemans Creek, a lambic style ale brewed with tart cherries. Very interesting. Aroma-wise, has that pleasant roasted malt sweetness with a sourdough bready notes in there, and of course the tart cherry fruitiness. But also there's a dark fruit that I think is like figs. When I sifted through it a bit longer, I got these hints of spice like nutmeg and a little bit of the hop influence. Flavor-wise, an obvious malt sweetness and a dry, spicy, and somewhat fruity bitterness, which dominates, but also with a little bit of that Belgian yeastiness. Those flavors kind of remain as the backbone, but give way enough to allow that sweet fruitiness to come out along with the pleasant tartness from the cherries. It really, this ale finishes a bit dry and moderately bitter with a somewhat astringent character, which for these blends makes for an equally flavorful choice, but it still has that palate cleansing character. The alcohol warmth is present throughout, and this ale has really a higher level of carbonation than I would have expected at first. The ABV is 9.7%. Overall, a moderately rich traditional Belgian style ale with enjoyable notes of tart cherry that really mix well with the dark fruit and that malt sweetness. Very enjoyable. I would also suggest Petrus's aged red ale if this particular ale is not available in your area. Okay, time to discuss the first blend, GLP's Key Largo. Performance-wise, this is a well-behaved blend that had no hint of tongue bite or harshness and offered a cool smoke unless I got too aggressive with my cadence, which sometimes I can do. It took an average number of relights and it burned evenly and dry. No problems, really. My impression, this blend is rich and full, but again, not heavy in Latakia smokiness. The Latakia was present, but not overcoming. It was more of a condiment to the overall flavor profile. In the first half of the bowl, the Virginias offered that welcomed, tangy, red Virginia influence and tended to dominate. But further down, the cigar leaf became more apparent with a taste that reminds me of a rich, somewhat bitter, unsweetened coffee. But then it was the subtle hints of tart and sweetness. Was it the Virginias or maybe the influence of the Cavendish? Both? I'm not real sure. I'm not sure because it had more of that dark fruit flavor, similar to black cherry jam, but not as sweet. So you can see why the beverage pairing worked. As I progressed, the Orientals continued to show more of their spicy and sour notes until about the last third of the bowl. Overall, an enjoyable smoke that has a bit of a nick hit, but really not too much. Key Largo has the deep, rich flavors that at times made me think there was burley in this blend, but there really was never any reference to it. I don't think it's an all-day smoke. It's more suitable for that special treat when you can sit alone and enjoy an unhurried day. Those seem to be getting rare, more and more rare these days. Now we'll move on to the second blend, Robert Lewis's 1-2-3 mixture. Performance-wise, I don't remember any tongue bite. It didn't express any harshness. It burned evenly, needing only a few relights with a minimal amount of moisture left in the bowl. Nothing serious. My impressions, while I was enjoying my first bowl of this blend, I was surprised to find it was more of an Oriental Ford Latakia blend than simply a recreation of an experience one might have with a light, mellow cigar, the other end of the spectrum. The influence of the cigar leaf is certainly there, but not overwhelmingly so as to overshadow the Orientals. Or maybe it was the cigar leaf that gave it the blend, the spicy and woodsy, almost cedar-like aftertaste. Pleasant aftertaste. But I believe it's the Orientals that are giving it that distinct and pleasant sourness. Even though the Latakia is present more on the nose than on the palate, its impact is light and does add an appealing complexity. The Virginias and Cavendish seem to make up the backbone of this blend. Big jets going over. The Virginias have that somewhat grassy, citrusy influence, while the Cavendish offers some underlying sweetness, which is probably the reason this blend is so smooth and approachable. It's not a cigar, it's not a lap bomb, but it does have enough of each to keep it rather interesting. An elegant, somewhat complex blend, full of flavor that, if one takes their time, will better appreciate the subtle nuances that it has to offer. I found it smoked best for me in this, both of them. And my Chacombe Club number 127 billiard. And of course, you may find other pipes suit you better. And with that, it's time for the ratings. Scale, I give GLP's Key Largo a rating of distinguished. On the Pipes Etc. rating scale, I give Robert Lewis's 1-2-3 mixture a rating of respectable plus. Here's how I came up with these ratings. Both are interesting blends with quality tobacco, no doubt. Depending on how much of a cigar experience you desire, each may satisfy that craving. The 1-2-3 mixture is more of an Oriental Ford light Latakia blend that is quite smooth. And I believe the aging has melded this blend, because the different tobaccos had kind of melded together. So to pick out the cigar leaf taste it takes some time. Nevertheless, an enjoyable endeavor on a peaceful afternoon. Perhaps a fresher tin would have shown a somewhat different taste profile. Regardless, this is an interesting change of pace for someone that enjoys the English and or Balkan style blends. It's really the Orientals that are interwoven into the other flavors that would attract those appreciating that type of a smoking experience. I enjoy that. But It was the Key Largo is more of a blend that would be most satisfying to someone like me wanting the cigar leaf influence without trying to replicate a more mellow cigar taste. It had its own characteristic. I liked the sweet, tart, sour taste profile with that bit of smokiness and bitter coffee flavor of Key Largo more than I did the Oriental Forward Latakia blend flavors that I feel I could get in other blends that had no cigar leaf at all. Both are worth trying, and I suggest you do. But for me, Key Largo caught my interest, and as a blend, I would feel comfortable topping the cigar leaf blend category. And for now, I guess it does. So I'm going to send the remainder of this tin of 123 mixture to someone so they can give it a try and hopefully give us their thoughts. And that person will be, oh, here it is, DW in St. Louis. DW, if you are watching, please contact me at the email shown and let me know if you would be interested in trying 123 mixture. I'll also include some Key Largo so you can compare the both of them. Well, that's all for this 22nd episode of Pipes, Etc. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you will again. And until then, good day. Very good.